FBI Director James Comey dropped one bombshell after another on Capitol Hill today. For the first time, Comey publicly confirmed there is an FBI investigation underway into the Trump campaign's possible ties to Russia. And he threw cold water on President Trump's conspiracy claim that President Obama ordered wiretapping on Trump Tower. KCAL 9 political reporter Bryan joins us now with more on Comey's revelations during several hours of testimony. Dave.
Yeah, and you know, Lena, in some respects, it was a day of very sharp contrasts as well. It was a day of stunning announcements, which in a way we all kind of knew was probably happening anyway, and a day with lots of headlines, but not much substance beyond that. Very few details to fill in the blanks, as the FBI director publicly announces a high-level investigation, but kind of leaves it at that. Sound familiar?
I have no information that supports those tweets.
FBI Director James Comey didn't answer a lot of the questions, but on the issue of President Trump's allegation that President Obama wiretapped his phones at Trump Tower, he never hesitated. Like this under questioning from Burbank Congressman Adam Schiff.
You said there's been no evidence of an illegal wiretap by President Obama. Is that right?
I've said the FBI and the Department of Justice have no information to support those tweets.
And another claim that was touted last week by the White House, that President Obama asked the British spy agency to tap Mr. Trump's phones, was shot down by the director of the National Security Agency.
I've seen nothing on the NSA side that we engaged in any such activity, nor that anyone ever asked us to engage in such activity.
But FBI Director Comey did confirm that his agency is looking into whether there was any collusion between Trump campaign associates and the Russians to influence the 2016 presidential election. The committee chairman, Congressman Devin Nunes from Visalia, pushed Comey for more details.
Do you have any evidence that any current Trump White House or administration official coordinated with the Russian intelligence services?
Not a question I can answer.
President Trump fired back with a tweet charging the NSA and FBI tell Congress that Russia did not influence electoral process.
Of course, it had an impact on the election in the sense that it forced one candidate to continue to respond to these leaked emails. We don't know whether it was decisive. They made that clear. And for the president to say otherwise is just another falsehood labeled on falsehood.
Now CBS News is reporting that among those Trump campaign associates being scrutinized by the FBI are former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, who was fired last month, campaign foreign policy advisor Carter Page, former campaign manager Paul Manafort, and political consultant Roger Stone, a longtime friend of Mr. Trump's. Stone told CBS News correspondent Jeff Pegues last week that he did nothing wrong.
I have no fears because I know I had no meaningful contact whatsoever with any Russians.
But Republican Committee Chairman Nunes from California was so rattled by Comey publicly announcing the investigation into Mr. Trump's friends and campaign associates' connections to Russia, but without providing any more details, he lectured Comey about how unfair that is.
There is a big gray cloud that you've now put over people who have very important work to do to lead this country. And so the faster you can get to the bottom of this, it's going to be better for all Americans.
I understand. Thank you.
At the White House, Press Secretary Sean Spicer declared the committee Democrats were making charges for which there was no proof whatsoever.
You want to talk about a series of mistruths and misdirection. I think if you look at that opening statement, it was filled with those. At this point, we are at the beginning phases of this, and we have ways to go.
Look, it's a different situation, but some Democrats say the ultimate irony in all this is that President Trump, his administration, is now in some ways in the same position that Hillary Clinton was in during the closing days of the campaign when the FBI director announced the investigation of her emails was being reopened. Just as millions of voters may have been making up their minds then, now the shoe is on the other foot with Republicans pushing for quick resolution since it's President Trump's associates who are under scrutiny.
Dave, we heard Democrats and Republicans on the committee asking different questions,
Oh, yeah.
kind of coming from different directions there. Where do you see this going? Where do you think this is heading?
It was like 2 hearings in one. It really was. You know, and like I say, not just that, but also remember that in terms of whether any laws were broken, the FBI and other federal agencies will make the call, not the committees. But while the Democrats were chasing Russian collusion and a presidential wiretap charge at today's hearing with no evidence, committee Republicans were pushing hard for a full-scale investigation of classified leaks from the intelligence agencies. And the deep divisions between committee members of different parties on this could grow into a roadblock for the House Intelligence Committee in trying to reach any kind of substantive agreement on how to proceed with its own investigation, Lena.